are live. Welcome to the premiere episode of Digging in the Trenches. My name is Bobby Melendez. I am the creator, whatever you want, the founder of Finstock Sports Network, and I just wanted to start this off by introducing this awesome new show with the founder of Digging in the Trenches, man, JPF Scout. Welcome to the Finstock Sports Network family. Brother, first off, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on. Just one of those Saturdays where, we're going to talk some football, jump into this scouting, and we're waiting on Gio here, but then we're getting ready to open up this schedule and unwrap this thing for you guys. Dolphin fans should be excited. We're getting ready for a great season, and sunshine and barbecues and beer, right? So
that's right.
Let's get everybody started on everything, and hopefully everybody will be tuning in. We're going to be doing some other shows here too, like our gracious host here, Bobby, has told you about. This is our first show we're doing here, but we'll have some draft stuff coming up and some stuff for you guys. More football talk, definitely more Dolphin stuff coming for you every day. So we'll be here.
It's going to be awesome, man. And like you said, scouting, that's something that's cool, too. A lot of people wait until after the season to start talking draft. No, not the Finstock Sports Network. We're digging in the trenches. We will be talking about that throughout the season. College game day, the Miami Hurricanes play today, I believe at 3 p.m. It's going to be – it's an exciting day. It's exciting college football season, but also a very exciting Miami Dolphin season coming up. But, man, so – let's first start off. Again, if you guys are watching the Finstock Sports Network, digging on the trenches. If you haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you all for coming on and tuning in. Evan says congrats, Justin, on the premiere episode, and welcome to the FTSN family, Finstock Sports Network. Evan hosts our Fins Bandwagon show, and he is a part of the post-game show, as Justin will be as well. Okay, so digging in the trenches, man. You have a channel. You started a channel a while back with Digging in the Trenches. So why don't you tell us what this revamped version, you said a little bit, what's this revamped version going to be about? What should fans expect Digging in the Trenches on the Finstock Sports Network?
Here on the Finstock Sports Network, you should expect Digging in the Trenches to be your go-to draft analysis. We will have analysis from the bottom all the way up to the top of the draft, between many prospects, all the conferences, all the players. We'll break them down into certain topic and bullet point areas that we'll start, pretty much go right through it, starting from like the offensive line outward, and we'll go from there. Get as many prospects as we possibly can in, and then the ones we really are interested in, especially for the Miami Dolphins, we'll do a deep dive and break down the film just a little bit more deeper than we would all the rest of them. And we'll carry the channel like that going forward as a draft analysis channel and a specifically Miami Dolphins base. So when we're looking at these prospects, we're thinking about the Dolphins first before any other team first. But we look at all the prospects fairly and want to give a fair eye to them. So if we see something in their game we don't like, we're going to tell you about it. We see something in their game we like, we're going to tell you about that as well. We're going to highlight both highs and lows and just give a fair analysis. That's what you can expect here.
Perfect. So, and then you said we got Mr. Gio coming in, and
yeah, he's running a little bit late.
That happens. That's fine. Let me make sure I got this on here. His Twitter handle is JP on Sports, and it looks like, let me see, I think he has a YouTube channel as well, which is Miami Sports Fanatic Show, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, you have Digging in the Trenches, and you're JPF Scout on Twitter. So if you guys haven't yet, go follow them to get all your Dolphin stuff, tape. Justin goes through every Dolphin game he has so far in preseason, analyzing, overanalyzing every play. And it's very interesting to watch, very knowledgeable for people to see, because we all love looking at stats and looking at the final number, but you really have to look at the tape to get to know the real player, and if this player has that type of potential and everything. That's what Justin does, and that's what we appreciate at the Finstock Sports Network, and we're excited about having him on. But hey, man, so yes, college is officially starting up, But Dolphins season starts next Sunday, September 11th. The Dolphins versus the New England Patriots. Man, so the Dolphins, for the first time since 2013, I don't have the stuff in front of me, but since first time 2013, they're favored against the New England Patriots by 3 points. We're gonna go through the schedule. You told me when you said, "Hey man, I'm ready to let's do this." You're like, "I want the first episode. I want to go through the schedule, dude. I want to look at the games and I want to talk about." So I said, "Perfect." So let's before we we don't have to go deep because we're waiting on Gio here, but we will.
Yeah.
We got some time, but. Man, should Miami be favored by 3 against the New England Patriots? Because, I mean, I think they should, obviously, right? Talent, Tyreek, all the, they have every, right? But it's still Bill Belichick. It's still the Patriots. This is still a tough football team. What's your thoughts on New England, man? Should the Dolphins be favored? It's 3 points, but still.
In my opinion, yeah, I think they've deserved it to be favored at this point. Like you said, I'll take it. I wouldn't look past a Bill Belichick coach team. I wouldn't look over any team. I would come out ready to play, swinging right from the drop of the gate. I hope they come out fast and start fast. Notoriously, they've been slow starters under Coach Flores. Under Mike McDaniels, I'm hoping that this will change and will come out starting quick. Like the first couple drives would be nice to have a touchdown and a field goal or some points up. I wouldn't take anything that they do lightly. I know they're going to try to ball on us. I can almost guarantee you that. But, yeah, I wouldn't take them lightly at all. But we do deserve to be favored in this game. We are at home. They're going to be in the sun. The 3 points it's favorable.
Okay. All right. So you're okay with 3 points. Do you think that's a little low, or you think that's pretty fair? 3 points.
I think it's pretty fair. I think that's a pretty fair. I think it's going to be one of those games that if they, odds may say 3, I think it's going to go anywhere from points. It's going to be a 4 to 6 point game. That's how I kind of see it.
Gotcha. So, man, so let's look at the opponent of the New England Patriots as we wait on Gio here, and then we'll get into the season in just a second here. If he pops in, we'll do great. But just looking at the New England Patriots, what are some players? A lot of people like to rag on Mac Jones. I mean, of course, he came right after Tua. Dolphin fans are going to rag on him because he is a Patriots quarterback and he's post Tua, so everybody's going to compare him just like they'll compare Herbert with Tua. But what do you think of Mac Jones in his second year now, man? What do you think of him as a pro quarterback? What have you seen with him? Is that a quarterback that's going to be a problem for the Dolphins for years to come, or are you thinking, hey, man, I think he is what he is?
Honestly, like my first analysis of Mac Jones was he's not too bad, and the reason why he was drafted too high was because of the way that he processes the field and the way he reads things. He's a quick processor and he's fast, but his limitations are evident to see. Everybody talks about how Tua's arm is really weak and he can't make passes with no zip on him. Mac Jones has an arm that, let's just be honest, it's not overpowering anybody or wowing anybody off the charts. So he makes passes that are just on time and on rhythm. I don't think it'll be a quarterback that we're going to have problems like we do with the other one in Buffalo. I think this quarterback is something that we'll be able to handle. He's got potential, though, to be good and be born in their side in the right system, surrounded by the right cast of players. But I'm more worried about their running game and Damian Jones and Ramondre Stevenson and the running game that they're going to present. And then you get to the other side of the football, they also have a lot of defensive guys. The number one that sticks out to me would be their safety, Kyle Duggar. He's just all over the field, so when we're on offense, we want to make sure where he's at all times.
So, yeah, what's up, Cap for Life, man? Thank you for joining. This is the premiere episode of Digging in the Trenches on the Fins Talk Sports Network with Justin, JPF Scout. Gio will be on in a few moments. I'm Bobby, obviously, host or creator and host of Fins Talk Sports Network in general. So anyway, love the analysis of that. And the thing about Mac Jones, in my opinion, and I understand people's thing against him, but one thing I noticed with him is that he plays like a pro quarterback. He ain't great, but he ain't bad either. He's okay. He's a decent, and he has a chance to be good. He's not Tom Brady, just because he puts a New England uniform. But you're right. He can make the throws. He plays like a veteran, carries himself like a veteran. He's a perfect fit on a Bill Belichick football team. So,
I agree.
you know,
I agree.
yeah, I think he'll get a little better, but I don't think it's a better where it's going to be like Josh Allen, nothing like that to be concerned with. He'll just get better because he'll get smarter with the football. Because he just plays like that. He plays like a veteran.
He sure does.
And then, like you said, and which brings that point that I brought before, you can't sleep on a New England Patriots football team. They all play like they're vets because they play on Bill Belichick's football team. Doesn't mean they're going to beat you, but they're going to give you hell. That's why, for me, I think 7-point favorite, I'd give Miami just because of the talent on the roster. My co-host on FinStalk today, Hank, he has Miami winning by 21 points. I think 35-14.
Oh, man, I'd be all excited with that right there.
Everyone would be. Everyone would be, I think it would be a great statement if Miami could win that.
Yeah.
But I think 7 points, 3 points is a fair number to put on that just because of the type of game. Like you said, Miami has a recent history. Of course, that's what Flores, but has a recent history of having slow starts. That might be the case. Or Miami might come out and try to smack them in the mouth like they did against Philly. So, but of course, Belichick's going to be prepped for that. So anyway, let's go. So I said it. We went over 4 games. We're going to go over the whole schedule next episode of Fitz Talk today. But you're going to discuss the schedule, you and Gio, and I'll help lead it. But I'll just give you my 4 games for Miami. Miami faces New England Patriots at home. Then they got Baltimore away. Then they got Buffalo back home. And then they fly to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. That, to me, is a tough 4-game stretch. That is a tough 4-game stretch. I'd be happy, and I actually think Miami's going to go 2-2. I think Miami's going to go 2-0 and then 0-2, followed by 0-2. My brother, let's go ahead and start you off, man. And as Gio comes in, perfect. It's all right. People get delayed. We understand that. But let's go ahead and put that schedule up. Tell me, what are you thinking about those top 4 games to start us off?
From the beginning part of this, when I could, the first thing that I noticed is that the beginning part of it is it's really rough, and then it evens out as far as the schedule goes in the middle. It gets really rough to the end of the schedule. But the way I would pick the games, how I have them at least, I'm right there with you, 2-2. We just have them a different way. I have the Patriots at home as a W. The Ravens away it's going to be a tough game. We all know historically we don't play them well. They always seem to have our number. If we win, that's great, but I have that one as a loss. Then we're going to get Buffalo at home. This game right here is very, very interesting to me, and the reason why is because the next time we play Buffalo, we'll be in Buffalo. I think we're going to come out and we're going to throw the whole kitchen sink at them right here. Everybody we have, every weapon we could possibly throw at them, everything on defense, we're going to throw all at them right there. We win that game. I got us winning Buffalo. Then the game you just
upset. I love it.
I got us beating Buffalo. And then that Bengals game is a Thursday night game, and quote me on this. I'm not positive, but it might be. Is it Halloween? Is it a Halloween game versus Cincinnati? I know it's on Thursday.
No, September 29th.
Yep. Okay, that game right there is going to be another rough game for us. We're going to be on the road. It's going to be a Thursday night game versus the defending AFC champs. They're going to be plugging on all cylinders, possibly. We don't know. Someone could get hurt. Anything could happen. But I got us losing that game on Thursday night. So I got us 2-2.
2-2. And I would be happy with 2-2. If Miami could come out of that tough 4-game stretch and start at 2-2, that's even. That's fine because it kind of lights up. But we'll go over that. Now, for me, I think you're absolutely on the point when it comes to Baltimore. Miami, I think, beat them. Was it last season they played them? I think they beat them. But Miami, it's always a tough out against Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
Lamar Jackson, Coach Harbaugh.
Oh, yeah.
That whole organization, it always gives Miami, they're always a pain in the ass. So when I was looking at that first part of the schedule, I was with you. I think it's going to be tough. But I think Miami has enough talent to beat them. And I would say that's a very close game. But the Buffalo game, which, again, it's in Miami. Miami could pull the upset out, right? But Miami has not done a damn thing against Buffalo yet.
No.
They have not shown
Nope.
anything. I don't know how they're going to come prepared. It's still Josh Allen. It's still Buffalo. So it was hard for me to go that route right now. Maybe in the first two games, if Miami lights it up or shows that type, that could change. But right now, for me, I have Miami beating New England by a touchdown, the Baltimore Ravens probably by a field goal or two field goals, and then you got Buffalo. Now Cincinnati, that's another team like Joe with Tua and Joe Burrow. That teams people are going to compare those two quarters. They're going to compare those two football teams. Think about Cincinnati. They were in the Super Bowl last year. They lost because they had an offensive line just as bad as Miami. They still went to the Super Bowl, but it was Quentin. I remember that play. It was Quentin Spain who gave up that sack to Joe Burrow. That if Joe Burrow another 2 seconds or a second and a half or half a second, just a little bit, he had Jamar Chase right on the right hand side. Nobody, Jalen Ramsey had fallen on his ass. Jamar Chase would have been touchdown. The Cincinnati Bengals are Super Bowl champions. Those were your AFC champions. They were one half a second away from winning the championship because of their offensive line. This offseason, they go out, they go all out and improve that football club. It's a better football team than it was last year. Things happen, but they are definitely Joe Burrow's in his third year. Looks like the real deal. Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Defense-wise, offensive line has improved. I can't see Miami right at this point, and I understand people can jump on our throats on this, but that's going to be a tough game to play. It's AFC North. Every AFC North game is tough for Miami, brother. But that's why I had it there where Miami wins 2 at the beginning, loses 2 at the end before they move on to the season. So we have 2 and 2 together. Just you have Miami winning both AFC East games and losing AFC North. I have Miami splitting it down the middle. So without spoiling mine, I'm going to let you go through yours. So let's go through the next few games here. And if Gio comes in, I'll let him in there. But again, you guys are watching Digging in the Trenches on the FinStalk Sports Network. I appreciate you all tuning in. If you haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe button. Antonio, Dolphins Realtor, California, thank you all for tuning in. Cap for Life. We haven't played them yet this year. Who knows? We could be worse. Maybe we surprised. True. I actually got Miami beating the Patriots by double digits. Antonio, all right. We see you. All right, brother. Interesting. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Cap for Life, man. All right.
My boy Cap for Life. What's up, Cap?
Yeah. Dolphins Realtor says it got hot. I'm all washed up. Got a couple of catfish. Oh, okay. So he's out fishing. Good for him. All right. So if you guys haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe button. All right. So we got both the team going 2 and 2, but I'm going to save the rest of mine. Well, I'll probably tease some here. But for FinStalk today, but Justin, I'll let you go, brother. So now we got the New York Jets. Tell everybody how you think the Jets are going to blow out the Miami Dolphins. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's not going to happen on this channel. But this is the part of the schedule that I found to be quite favorable for the Dolphins. I think this is where they're going to hopefully it works out like we both said, and they do come out of that 2 and 2. However, we both had it. This is where I think they catch fire. I think the Jets right here with no problem. I think they go now. Here's the catcher of this. Going into the games after the Jets is we got an NFC game coming up, and then we play an AFC opponent, and then 2 NFC games. If there's I don't want to lose any game. Don't take this the wrong way. I want to win every game we play. But if I was wanting to lose a game anywhere, it's going to be to an NFC opponent. So that just hear me out. That would be how I feel about it. But after the Jets, the Vikings, that's a W. Then we Monday night game versus the Steelers, which is going to be it's a rough game. No matter how you chop it up, like we were just talking about the AFC, those central games are tough. The Baltimore, the Bengals are in there. Browns will see them later. There's a lot of hype and drama in this game as well. Brian Flores is going to be coaching the defense. You know, he's going to have his linchpin back there, and Mika trying to do things to us. It's going to be a rough game no matter how you chop it up unless we make their quarterback look very not good, which we can do that. So I got that as a win. After that, we go into the at Lions. Let's face it, the Lions are in a rebuild mode. They could catch up on us here and sneak one on us. The Dolphins do this every year to where they'll lose to a team that they should beat. It happens. But that's going to be a W. Now, they're back-to-back games after that that are on the road because it's at Detroit, as you see there, and then at Chicago. Chicago is almost in the place that the Lions are in. They got a young quarterback. They got a terrible offensive line. Their defense might be one of their only bright spots on us. Could they sneak one on us right there in Dust? Sure. Any given Sunday. But it's not going to happen. I have that as a W as well. Then you go into another AFC Central game versus the Browns. It's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of drama in that game as well. Is Deshaun Watson going to play? Is he not going to play? Which quarterback are we going to face in our ex-quarterback, Jacoby Brissett? I mean, who are we going for? We don't know right there. Is Kareem Hunt still going to be on the Cleveland Browns football team? How does their team look? How do we look going in? We don't know. But I'll have that one as a win, as a W. Okay, that's W. We take that one.
So let me ask you. Okay, so Miami goes into the bye. So was there any losses in there?
No.
During that stretch? No losses. Okay,
nope.
So
we're gonna go on a streak right there. 1, 2,
all
3,
right,
4, 5, 6. 6 games.
So you had a 2-2, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2, 7-2, 8-2. You got an 8-2 right now at the bye.
Yep.
You know, I think that's the easy stretch for Miami. The one team, when I look at that, like the Cleveland Browns, even with Jacoby Brissett, because of the overall talent on that roster, you know,
they're loaded.
Nick Chubb, Mari Cooper, Myles Garrett, you know, and so forth. It's still a very talented football team, but with Jacoby Brissett, you can't, I doubt you could pick Cleveland. I mean, Deshaun Watson's a different story. However, when I'm looking at this lineup, without giving away all the other ones, the one team though that I do look at, it gives me cause to pause. And there's some good team. You know, you don't know how Kenny Pickett or whoever's Mitch Trubisky. I don't know how Pittsburgh will do. The defense is still very good. Detroit Lions. I'm rooting for Dan Campbell, but they still have a lot of question marks. Chicago. If Justin Fields plays like he did during the preseason, and then they could take a leap. However, the one team that really does give me cause to pause is the Minnesota Vikings. Other than that, just
really,
Minnesota, man. I think they could give Miami a problem. They're the one team in that stretch before the bye that gives me some cause to pause. Other than Cleveland, just because Cleveland, you don't know who's playing at quarterback. But
sure,
Kirk Cousins, Cook, Jefferson, the defense. Kevin O'Connell, the rookie coach, he could put a chip on those guys' shoulder. Minnesota's the one team out of that stretch that really, if I have to sit back and I look at this schedule, it's giving me cause to pause. But other than that, I think you could be on the money. I love your analysis on all of them. It's just Minnesota's the one that makes me go, okay. Now, Miami goes into the bye, in your opinion, 8-2. Then they come out of the bye. They got Houston coming to Miami, followed by San Francisco, the Chargers, and Buffalo. Let's talk about these 4 games before we get to the final 3. How do you think that turns out?
So we'll start coming out of the bye right there. Real quick, just to recap about the Minnesota game you're worried about. The one benefit we have is it's going to be at home for us. So that will be an advantage for us. But after the bye, I'll say we're going to face the Texans. And honestly, it's just like the Ravens. I don't think we play versus the Texans very well. We always something happens versus that team. If we don't play well versus them, and if we do beat them, it's a very close game. I know if they're going to give us a scare, I think. If I've ever seen a successful season out of any football team you ever have, they all start with a combination of things. A win to start off your season, a win to go into a bye, and a win to come out of a bye. In this scenario I have for us, all of those things, and so we're getting pretty lucky at this point. Because coming out of the bye, I have us beating the Texans. I think it's going to be a close game by a field goal, maybe even a point. I don't know. But after you get out of that, this is where I think it's interesting you're going to know what we have, I think, about right here. It's this game versus the 49ers. It's at the 49ers. We're getting to go on a West Coast swing. This is the roughest stretch of the schedule that I have for us. It's at 49ers, at the Chargers, then at Buffalo. So this is going to be, I think it's going to be hard for us to beat the 49ers. I think we end up losing the game. It's going to be close. Field goal, touchdown, something like that. We go in and play the Chargers. We've played the Chargers very well for the last couple years now, and every time we play them. I think we're going to go into that game and we're going to hit a switch in our offense, and we're gonna come out of there with a W. But then you get into, that's a W. Then you get into the Buffalo game, and I guarantee if it goes a different way than what I'm thinking, notoriously we don't play good down there. It's got potential to be a cold weather game. We're going to be pretty mad if we beat them earlier in the season. Who knows what's happening up there with the injuries and everything like that. But if everybody's healthy and both teams are 100%, I think we beat. I think that's a loss. Now I have written next to the L, I've written score, ... Meaning what I mean by that is what's the score of the game? Do we get beat 34-14 or do we beat 27-24? You see what I'm getting at right there? That's got a lot to tell me where the season's going to end.
I like that point.
Game. Do we win? Do we win the game? Because if we win the game, now that changes the whole scenario for me on how I feel about the season from the body of work we've already accomplished to what we're getting ready to go into. But I think it's a loss. Everybody probably has it as a loss on their schedule as well. But how bad of a loss is, like I just said, is it 27-24? Is it 34-14?
I like that. That's a great point. Great point.
I need to know that, okay? After that, it's crazy, man. We'd be looking good even at how we have it right there. Like, we go into the next game is at home on Christmas, man. When have you seen the Dolphins get a game on Christmas? We're going to unwrap a present for the Dolphins and the Dolphins fan base on Christmas. They're going to unwrap a present for you on Christmas. It's going to be the best Christmas ever. You're going to wake up, you're going to get your cocoa going, and your kids are going to be unwrapping presents, and then you're going to be, oh, guess what? The best present of all, the Dolphins play. And then you're going to watch the game. It's going to be a tough game. We all know it. The Packers play us tough. They have had our number in the past. It's at Christmas. You know what? This is where I think the football gods bless us. A present, an early for Christmas, and we beat the Packers. Somehow, some way, we come out of that game with a W. And then you got the last games on the bucket, which will be at the dreaded Patriots and the Jets at home. If I'm putting my money down right now, I don't think the Patriots have anything to play for going into that. So they're going to be trying to play spoiler on us.
Yep.
Is this a game we could potentially lose? Sure it is. But this isn't your daddy Dolphins no more. This is a new Dolphins team. The way that I'm seeing it viewed, the way I hope it goes, it's going to go that way. I'm going to talk it into this. But we come out and play the Jets again, and we sweep them. And we come out of that season, let's hope so, all fair and fair, 12-4. I probably won't be right. We'll probably game here and end up, 2 losses on there that I didn't see and end up somewhere around there. It could happen. But I see it going somewhere like 12-4 or, I don't know, 11-5, something like that. I don't see it getting
So actually, you have the Dolphins going 13-4. That's actually what you got going on there.
Oh, is that what it is?
13.
Did I miss it?
Yeah, 13. No, you're good. You're good.
There you go.
You got. No, that's all right. You got them going 13-4, and I think you were pretty fair. Let's go look at that very quick. So I kind of run it down very quick. So Houston, you're absolutely right, man. With Houston, they always play us hard. I mean, I know people could laugh at Houston just because it's Davis Mills, but first off, don't sleep on Davis Mills. But
dude,
Houston,
he's good, dude.
Yeah, man. There's people that I hear people ranging on him, man. It's like, dude, take a step back. The kid has some talent, man. And again, like you said, and then Lovie Smith, dude, it's another opportunity. I respect the hell out of Lovie Smith. They're going to give us hell. They always do, no matter who's their coach or their quarterback. but you have it as a win.
Absolutely.
Then you go to San Francisco. San Francisco, man. That is Mike McDaniel's return. Mike McDaniel's return to the 49ers coaching. But you're right. It's going to be tough. Trey Lance, more than likely, is, unless something happens, is the starting quarterback. Deebo Samuel's still there. Still a very talented team. Fred Warner at linebacker. You have them losing that game. I get it. I think that's going to be a nail-biter. I think that's going to be an entertaining football game. So I think that might go down to the wire. The Chargers game, you have Miami winning that. That's going to be a fun football game, especially if Tua is the quarterback, unless he gets hurt, God forbid, or something else. Tua versus Justin Herbert, they will be combined by the hip until each one is retired or one is out of the league. Especially if one remains with their drafted team. But you have the Miami beating the Chargers, which is interesting, and I think it's fair, but also it's kind of a spoiler. Buffalo, no, I think you're absolutely right. I think nobody has Miami winning in Buffalo. You never know what could happen. You don't know. And like you said, I love the point that you had said about the Buffalo game. If Miami beats or loses to Buffalo, it's still an L, but how did they lose? Was it a close game? Did Miami put up a fight? Because then you know how they're going to finish the season or how they might perform in the playoffs. Are they going to be a wild card exit or are they going to go? Are they going to compete? Or if they lose, is it a close game? Because then you're like, oh, wait a second. This team put up a fight against the Buffalo Bills. They're ready to go against the Packers. They're ready to blow to wipe the floor with the Jets and the Patriots. I love that take. I think it's absolutely fair, and I think it's right on the money. And then, of course, you got the Packers, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he doesn't have a number one wide receiver, a true number one, but still, it's Aaron Rodgers. It's the Packers. They do good against Miami. Miami, it's their time now. Xavier Howard, he needs to get some footballs in his hand, pick off. Rodgers, Holland, Jalen Phillips needs to get a couple sacks with Agba. They need to rattle him up. Did you have that a loss for Miami? You had that a loss, right? Packers game.
The Packers.
Christmas,
no, I had that as
a win.
I got that as a
Christmas gift.
Christmas, yeah.
That's right, Christmas gift.
That's the
and
gift.
Then you got the Patriots. That's right. So Miami finishes the season 3-0 after losing to the Buffalo Bills. So 13-4, which, I think that is pretty much where the majority of the Dolphins fandom is at. And whether if you're a homer, a bandwagon person, or you're realistic, whatever, you look at that schedule and you go, there is an opportunity. It's kind of realistic. It could happen. Miami could go 13-4. I've seen a lot of people go 13 wins. It's on that paper. On paper, Miami looks really nice. It's a very sexy roster. It all falls on the offensive line for Miami. Miami's offensive line, to me, is still a question mark with or without Armstead. It falls on the quarterback. Does Tua take the next step forward? Really, I don't need him to give me 4,500 yards or 50 touchdowns and all that shit. I need him to don't cost the game, protect the football, get the ball to your guy, be a game manager. When I think of the type of quarterback, the last quarterback to take Miami to the playoffs was Chad Pennington. The last quarterback when the Dolphins won a playoff game was Jake Fiedler.
Yep.
That's your tier. That's where you need to be. Jay Fiedler is not when you look at the Dolphin tiers of quarterbacks, he's not up there. But he was the last quarterback to win football. He protected the football. He won football games. He knew when to get it to his guy. Aronde Gatson, Chris Chambers, Ricky Williams, Randy McMichael, that offensive line. That was the last time Miami had a really talented roster and a question mark at quarterback. And not saying that Tua can't be that next step, be that franchise quarterback without any question. But the last time Miami did have that, all he had to do was protect the football and don't cost us the game. That's what Tua needs to do this year. Let me ask you something, man. Offensive line, you've had all preseason now to look at this offensive line. I did. I saw some improvement. I think Austin Jackson, he looks more athletic. He's lost some weight. Connor Williams has been playing center. And Cat for Life, I see your question. We'll get it up there, and we'll let Justin answer that. But, man, offensive line-wise, how are you really, truly feeling with this offensive line? I'm still not comfortable with it. Even with Armstead, I'm still not comfortable. How are you feeling with the offensive line?
As you were just talking about going into the season, and your weakest point is of concern would be the offensive line. It would actually be my point of concern as well. Point of concern I have would be with Liam Eichenberg and Austin Jackson. I still need to see Austin Jackson go against one, and I still need to see Eichenberg go against one. A fair analysis of it. But the thing I do like about this is the offensive line is in a new scheme, and they're actually adapting to what they're being asked to do quite well. What I really like is I'm starting to see them playing more. From last year, I've seen a lot of people playing as individuals, just trying not to make a mistake. Don't try to get beat. Now I'm seeing the offensive line actually just as one. Where we got to stretch play left, everybody's going left. We got to stretch play right, everybody's moving to the right, and they're attacking forward. The way the scheme is set to be, they want you to go out there and attack your man. They'll dictate to you what they're trying to do. It's a new scheme for them. I like the way that it's going right now, but we're still in that on the fence mode. Like, I don't know what we really have quite yet. I'd like to see it get a couple games under its belt, get going, and then I can give you a better, fair analysis for it right now. But I will tell you right now, from what we're dealing with from last year to this year, night and day. Night and day. It's a totally different line and a totally different scheme. So I expect totally different results. And we're probably going to get some fairly good results. The game they had, I think it was, the Eagles game, they rushed for 200 yards. If we could get 200 yards rushing for quarterback, geez, man, that's going to really take a lot of pressure off of your quarterback. When we get going into the end of the season, we're going to want pressure off that quarterback. And you do that by bringing your defense and by bringing that running game. I mean, that's what we're going to need to bring to the table. The offensive line is definitely a question mark still. The biggest issue I have with it right now is if Armstead goes down, what happens? We know he's notorious for missing some games here and there. If we could get 8, 12 games out of him, I'm going to be really happy. But the games that he does go down, are they going to put Greg Little in there as the left tackle and just make that one change? Or are they going to shuffle it around and make Austin Jackson go back out left tackle, Liam Eichenberg go out to right tackle, Williams go back over to his original spot of left guard, and Dieter be the center? Because, I mean, honestly, if they start playing musical chairs with the offensive line like that, we could have some issues. So I want to see it stay the same starting five you have of Armstead, Eichenberg, Williams, Hunt, Jackson. But if Armstead goes down, that's where I'm like, oh, what's going to happen? In a perfect world, we'd love Greg Little just to throw right in there and be like, listen, we didn't miss a beat. Can they do that and be successful with it? That's yet to be seen. So I guess we'll go from there, and from that, who knows? This team will go as far as the line's going to block for it, period.
Yeah, for sure. And JP on sports he just said, let's go. He popped in, but it looks like he popped on out. So, JP, if you're still there, we hear you, brother. You can come back in. We'll let you in, get your predictions on the season. Maybe he's having some technical difficulties. But
dude, come back in.
Yeah, for sure, come back in. Hey, Cat for Life asks, man, what's your trap game this season?
The trap game that we were going to lose, oh, man. Honestly, it's that 49ers game. I mean, there's so much drama that goes to that game. You talked about it, Bobby. It's Mike McDaniel's first time back in San Francisco since he's the Dolphins head coach. There's so much drama with the schedule when you really look at it. In reality, you got Joe Burrow playing versus Tua Tagovailoa if they're both healthy in Cincinnati. You got the game versus the Steelers, Brian Flores versus the Dolphins. You have the Deshaun Watson game versus the Browns. You have the Mike McDaniels game versus the Niners. And then you have the Justin Herbert game versus the Chargers. So there's a lot of drama right there surrounding the schedule. But it all makes for great football, don't it? That gives us the storyline we want to build up to the happy ending that we're going to get. So all we want to do is just keep them going. One game at a time is how I take it all. So
100%. All right, man. So look, looks like JP must have had some technical. I saw him back there, but he didn't have the camera on, so he may have some issues there. But that's okay. That's okay. Things happen. If he pops in after the show, we'll talk a little bit. But anyway, look, man, we're at the 40-minute mark. This is the first episode of Digging in the Trenches.
Yep.
We talked about the schedule. You got Miami going, the Dolphins going 13-4, which is epic. Of course, you discussed the issues on the offensive line. But throughout this season, throughout the show, through your series here, you're going to be talking about not just Dolphins football and how the season's looking and what positions need addressing, but you're also going to be talking about the draft. Man, what's your final word to our viewers out there? And guys, you're watching Digging in the Trenches on the Finstock Sports Network. Hit that like and subscribe button. Just, man, give us the final word, brother, about what to expect again.
You can expect A quality plus analysis here on draft prospects going forward on Digging in the Trenches. We've done this in the past. I've been working by myself in the past, so sometimes you could get overloaded. But we're going to be bringing on JP Sports to help us here a little bit. He's going to come on, bring us his professional, keen scouting eye, who we can get through from 2023 to continuing on. We'll have bullet breakdowns. We'll do them by position. Probably start, this is Digging in the Trenches. We'll probably start up the offensive line and into the defensive line. Jump back over to some running backs and some linebackers and through on out. And we'll be bringing you the up-to-date analysis right here live on this channel. Like Bobby said, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we thank all of you for tuning in here at Finstock Sports Network. Tune in. Things are going to get exciting here. We're going to have lots of draft analysis and coverage. And hopefully one of these days we'll be out there live maybe somewhere doing some reporting for you.
Hey, man, yeah, that's right. We got some exciting things going. I mean, we're excited. I mean, you got Digging in the Trenches. It's going to be treated kind of like a little scout department here at Finstock Sports Network. I'm excited. Excited about this football season. I'm excited about having Justin and JP on sports on the team. He looks like he had some issues there, but I'm excited about having him on next episode. And then, just about the future. But until then, guys, thank you all for watching. We got one more week until Dolphins football, real football that matters, against the division rival New England Patriots. As you heard here first, JPF Scout Justin has them going 2-2. They beat the Patriots, lose to Baltimore, beat the Bills, lose to Cincinnati. So that's your start of the season, according to Justin. But until then, we will see you all next week here on Digging in the Trenches with Justin and Gio. We are excited. Hit that like and subscribe button. Finstock Sports Network. We'll see you all next time. Fins up.